It notifies. I don't see it.
But let me check whether recording started or not. After a very long time. Ah, yeah, okay. So, hello everyone. Today I have with me the former president of placement cell of SK Somaiya Degree College. Her name is Neetika Chavan, and she had demonstrated a great leadership in the placement year, academic year, in the placement year 2021-22. So she really did a commendable job, and under her leadership, the placement cell soared very high. She was able to attract good companies and into the college, and she was able to place a lot of students and make their careers. So she had a very successful year ahead. So as I said, her name is Neetika Chavan, and she is a BMS graduate, and she has wonderful plans for her about a future. So Neetika, over to you. So so my very first question to you would be is that like when in the month of September 2021, when the college announced that we are going for a president and vice president candidate, we are looking to select people. So what made you apply for the president of the placement cell? So over to you, Nitika.
First of all, I want to thank you for such an humbling introduction. And so part of the inspiration was you. I always wanted to work under you, as always heard such praises about being mentored by you, by my seniors. And I also thought that the placement cell would really help me groom and build a good profile for myself, as it was related to the corporate connections, and that would really help me with the connections. That's what pushed me to apply to the placement cell. It was not planned, I'll be honest, but it was a spur moment thing. It worked out really well.
So I'll share one experience about Nitika. So like when we conducted this interview, we and other professors conducted this interview in the month of September, and clearly Nitika, she had a very good command over language. We all were impressed by the amazing English that she spoke, and I said, okay, Nitika is a good candidate, and she's a front runner. In fact, no second candidate was close to her. But only doubt that I had in my mind was that Nitika speaks only in English, and there are a lot of people in SK Somaiya Degree College like they speak Hindi. I was like skeptical that will Nitika be able to take everybody along, and will she leave that English baggage and talk to people in their own language? So that was there in my mind. But I called Nitika twice. I said, Nitika, like let's say, how are you going to manage it? What are your plans? And I clearly remember Nitika said that she's doing internship with some firm, and I said, Nitika, if you are becoming a president or for that matter vice president, I didn't reveal her that she will be elected as the president, though we were very much sorted about. The professors were very clear. So I said, like, will she be putting up papers, their internship? Because working in placement cell is like a full-time job, and we had a corporate culture. So she was very positive about it, and she was very hopeful about it. So that, and then I said, like, okay, so let's give Nitika a chance. So Nitika, so you got the news of being a president somewhere in the month of September. So when you became the president, what was the initial challenge that you experienced helming this placement cell?
um, the initial excitement followed with the challenge of the communication, especially with completely new people. So everyone in the placement cell were people from different departments that I didn't know of, and we were into online learning for about a year and a half by then. So we'd already lost touch with the professors, lost touch with our friends also, even after going to college for the first year. So it was mostly just getting to know, having that icebreaker with the entire team, with our counterparts, with the upcoming members, because everything was online. So that was the major thing that I felt, the connecting with the team.
Yeah. So initially, like she had certain challenges bringing the team along because it was in lockdown mode and college was yet to open, and nobody knew that when would college start. In fact, we were hesitant that even this year, 2021-22 academic year, even this will go in lockdown and perhaps college will not open. So me and Nitika, while we were discussing, so we were planning that अगर college नहीं खुला तो हमारा जो दो flagship events होगा skillomatics and career fest, we will
Correct.
keep it online. And in fact, the skillomatic event that we had, even it was online and it was a big success. And Nitika could manage a lot of people in this skillomatic. She brought a lot of people. In fact, she surpassed all the previous record, and she did spectacularly well. So Nitika, so initially when you were forming your team, there were a lot of challenges and all, particularly communication issues, and everything was virtual, everything was online. So tell me, like, what qualities are required in a president to have a unified team or take everybody along? Everybody is motivated, everybody is inspired, and everybody works for a common cause, because college doesn't pay even a single rupee to anybody. So it's like it's a thankless job for all the members of the placement cell. So how did you carry everybody along, and how did you ensure that this is a very good team and everybody is high performing and everybody is ready to go that extra mile?
So I would say my biggest inspiration was you and all the guidance that you gave me, because you always kept me motivated. So that was passed along through through me to the entire team. And I would never say that I conducted the event, or I did it myself, because it was the entire team. All I did was push them, motivated them, and ensured that everyone were doing giving their best. I would say it is, as you mentioned, a thankless job, because we have to do everything to hustle. So I would say someone who can look at the positive more than the negatives, take it as an opportunity than a challenge, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to gain experience, and being groom their personality, connect with people, make corporate connections for that matter. So the positives kept me going. And I would say anyone applying, or considering a role like this, must be optimistic at all times. They also must know how to build a connection with their team, because the team is crucial. Okay, managing them, tending to their needs, ensuring that they are highly motivated, doing their best, is very important for any organization, any committee. Other than that, I would say we have to be unbiased, because in the end, it's important to be uh, you know pragmatic as well. Make sure that everything goes well. You can't uh, have a soft corner for someone. These are
So
something.
Nitika mentioned something very important, that first and foremost, you require a very good team. So Nitika was given full freedom. She was given full liberty that she could decide a team, and when she became the president and she got some few vice presidents, she went for the expansion of the placement cell. So she recruited a lot of people and she had a high performing team where everybody was motivated. So Nitika, let me ask you something very intricate, or for that matter, which happens in most of the team. Did you experience situation where you felt that you were let down by your team, or for that matter people are not giving their best, and for that matter you felt like removing certain people or bringing some new talent into the placement cell? So just talk about those areas. Like even I never knew when I was working with you, and like maybe here and a little bit information I had. So just give information on that. Did you feel let down by somebody?
There are always down moments in any journey and in any committee. And since everything was online, people not able to go out, people not able to conduct meetings properly, there were times where everyone were demotivated, and a little push was required. We also considered recruiting new people, having new leaders. So sometimes the rapport doesn't match. The head of the department is not able to manage. Sometimes people don't cooperate, but things happen. We try to solve them, and we try not to make it worse. And I believe that in the end, everything went well. But like any roller coaster, there have to be downs for the ups.
Okay, Nitika. So if I tell you to point some traits in your leadership style, or for that matter, so how would you describe your leadership in maybe one or two lines? Like, how did you get people along with you? How did you influence people? Lot of people around, more than 50 plus members were there under you. So how did you manage everybody along? Like one leadership trait that really sets you apart vis-a-vis other leaders.
um, I don't know. I would say that I let people have their freedom. Okay. So I didn't tell everyone what to do exactly. I let the department heads decide what they wanted to do, how they wanted to manage. And I was just like a supporter, not not like a boss who would like tell them what to do. I feel like I did a good job there in supporting and making sure that they had their freedom, they had their creative license to do things, and ensure that things went well according to how the college wanted, how the professors wanted it to be.
Okay, so two important things, Nitika. I want your quick view on this. So, how did you manage to get finance? Because like college didn't pay even a or didn't contribute even a single rupee. So, placement cell was all through its own, all the finance aspects. And secondly, how did you manage to bring some good brands? So, to all my audience, Nitika and her team. Let me give credit to her team also, but Nitika is of course very important. So, Nitika, you and your team, how did you all manage to bring on board certain great companies? Like for that matters, we had SEBI, we had Cyberfrat, we had NatureFit, and for that matter, we also had Tech
Oh,
Mahindra, we had Morningstar. So, lot many companies are. I think to best of my memory, there were around 25 plus companies which came in the career fest that we had in the month of March.
yes.
So quickly your views on finance and how did you manage to bring good companies on board?
But I would give all the credit to the head of departments, the vice presidents of the respective committees, because the operations vice president was truly motivated, self motivated. He was determined to bring in good companies. So I would say that it was his leadership, along with my support and your support, and everything from the enthusiastic team that we had. They managed to find ways of connecting with the companies. So we had guidance from the previous president as well. They asked us to approach via various mediums. There was social media, there were emails. Our students went gate crashing. That is, they went door to door in commercial plazas all around Mumbai, and they approached companies physically to tell them about the career fest, tell them about a college, let them know that there are students who are capable and worthy of jobs. They approached us, and that's how we brought in such big grants. So this is mostly the hard effort of all the students who went gate crashing. Thanks to them, uh, that has brought the success to this year's committee. For finances also, so we had a few leads, but students went gate crashing every single day, all day. That was the effort of all the students that they volunteered, and the entire team. We are all grateful for them.
Okay, great, Nitika. So nice. So, Nitika, let us talk about our two flagship events. Like at SK Degree College, Placement Cell is usually known for two flagship events. One is Skillomatics, and second is Career Fest. So, Nitika, just your views on Skillomatics. So, how did you bring a lot of good people from industry who could train our students and maybe a lot of important things like creating a LinkedIn profile, or for that matter, building your resume, or cracking the aptitude, or for that matter going for a or clearing the GD round. So just tell about Skillomatics and how. But Skillomatics was online, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Like it was totally virtual,
It
and
was completely online. Schools, colleges hadn't opened yet, so a lot of people were, reserved about coming to the college and concerned about the safety. So we, along with the management of the college, decided that it would be better, safer for everyone, and cost effective as well to, organize an event online. So the idea behind Skillomatics was we wanted the students to be prepared before they appeared for the final interview with the companies, because a lot of students just appear and they don't perform well. Some of them get nervous, and that can impact on their results. Some even good students can get nervous because they haven't appeared for any interview before that. Just because that they can lose out on a good opportunity. So we wanted them to have like a mock experience of interviews and time to prepare. So since the career fest was in March, we conducted Skillomatics in January, which was 3 months in advance. Our main flagship events in Skillomatics were mock interviews and mock group discussion sessions. So we managed to get good panelists, very generous professionals who gave their time to our students. They took and they sat with each and every student one by one, took a 10-minute interview, mock interview, told them about some general questions, and then gave them a personal feedback on the things that the student might, improve upon, something that they can get better on. And since they had 2 3 months to prepare for it, we felt that the performance and the placement rates have also increased because of this event specifically. So we've had like seminars, webinars about interviews, preparing for group discussions and resumes before. We've never had a mock interview where people came in and sat with each and every student one by one. It was a personal session entirely, and I feel that that was a very lucrative thing that we did. It's quite innovative. Everyone appreciated that this was done, and we charged them a very nominal fee. So it was completely worth the while, since there was other sessions as well. So it was a 2 day event. On the first day, we had mock interviews, and that was a huge success naturally. We also had a resume building session, which helped the students understand like what are the basic structures in a resume, and since that is the first thing any company sees before even interviewing you, it has to be impactful. So we had experts coming from good institutions, who've been doing this kind of work for years, and explain it to students. It was very lively and helpful session. For mock group discussions also, it was very similar to the mock interviews. We made random groups of 10, and the experts and the panelists would give them a topic impromptu, and they would discuss on it, and each and everyone would get like a feedback session after the discussion. We got the specialist thanks to everyone's effort. So the entire team got together. They, spoke to their friends and family who would be in the professional field. Sir also helped us. There was a lot of support from the college, I would say, because anywhere we would get stuck, Sir would come in and motivate us and even help give his whole heart and soul to us. So he would give us all the contacts that he would have, which would be relevant for us. Even reached out to my family members, and they were happy to volunteer just to help the students.
Thank you, Nitika, for this wonderful response that you've given, and I must tell you that I really enjoyed being part of that career fest. You invited me to maybe felicit or welcome the to
Yes,
inaugurate the session. I remember that. So, Nitika, coming to our second flagship event, that is Career Fest, and Career Fest we celebrated in the first week of March, that is 3rd, 4th, and 5th of March. So, how challenge it was, like suddenly shifting your gears from online to offline, because Skillomatics was online, and Career Fest was offline. And in fact, you remember we were discussing with our Dr. Manali Madam, our principal, and we were very skeptical कि online जाए कि offline जाए. Like things were very not very clear. So once we got a green signal that now things will be offline, and you remember like a lot of exams were going on at that time, and timing
yes,
ka issue tha. So we shifted our venue from that fourth floor of Vinay Mandir to the first floor of Aurobindo building. So tell us your hectic schedule on 3 days of the career fest before, during that time as well as before also. I'm sure a lot of preparations would have gone, and arranging classrooms, guiding people, circulating Google forms, and being very systematic and bringing people. Like a lot of people participate. In fact, the career fest that we had, we kept it open, like people from across the campus, like whomsoever is interested, whether from any college, KJ, SK, whatever, we kept it open, and we ensured that everybody is part of the career fest, and they land into the job that they are looking for. So tell us the
yes.
preparation, hectic preparation of career fest.
I'll start from the very beginning. Initially, since um everyone was nervous because we didn't know how what medium was the entire was going to be in, and that was kind of making us anxious because we didn't know how to start the preparation. Because for online, it would be much easier. It would cost a lot less, and for offline, it was just all of a sudden. So it was exciting because we wanted to get back on the campus. We wanted to meet each other, see the building again after, I don't know, 2 years maybe. So it was exciting, but at the same time, uh this thought came in that we haven't actually worked together physically, like So what we don't realize is that the rapport and the bonding that happens when you see someone or when you meet someone every single day, or twice a week, because you're just part of the same cause, part of the same committee. that bond and having it online is completely different. So I knew of people who didn't even know that they were part of the placement cell because they were in a different department because we have never had a common meeting. So having to start that, like the initial thing in the middle of the year, right before a major event, was something that made me anxious. Uh, but I was surprised by the amount of cooperation and how everyone gelled in so quick. So everyone just jumped right in. I think we all met about a week before the actual fest, even like a month before, after certainty. A lot of people were not able to come to the college because they stayed far or they had restrictions from their home because of the ongoing pandemic. So all of us actually met 1 week before the actual fest that was going on because we had to make arrangements, like physical arrangements about the logistical arrangements, decorations, and all those things. Like most of us had lost touch because we hadn't done all that for 2 years. So we used to get blank as well, like what are we supposed to do, what all happens during actual fest. So it took us some time to get back in the track and the whole mindset of a festival. But just the moment when the preparation started, just everybody jumped in. Everyone were enthusiastic. People would stay up till evening, and we would share meals together. That just happened so quickly. It was amazing. The cooperation, the coordination was amazing. So I would say the operations team was, hell bent on bringing better and more companies. So they were focused on that. Everyone else were, taking care of the decorations because we handmade most of them. We took care of the logistical arrangements, spoke with the management, non-teaching staff helped us with everything, hanging the banner, making sure the classrooms are arranged for, they're not, occupied elsewhere. Then we had to arrange for the food and beverages for refreshments for the companies that were going to come in. We had to take a roll call, head count, how many people were going to come. Do we have enough place for everyone? We had to set up a registration counter and for people who wanted to just come on the spot. Uh, Lots of things had to be taken care of. And since there were 12th board exams going on, we had to change the menus in the middle of the fest as well. And thanks to all the support of Arun sir and our principal ma'am, Dr. Manali ma'am, we were able to do that. And it was it was exciting. We had the adrenaline rush, and we didn't even realize how the 3 days went by. But the end of it, we were all super tired.
Yeah. Thank you, Nitika. I must tell you that Nitika really did a commendable job, and never ever I experienced that Nitika was showing ego and all those things. Never, never, never. I liked one thing about Nitika, that she's so humble and she's so down to earth. And whenever I interacted her, maybe on cell phone or for that matter, maybe in virtual meet, and she was approachable. So that really makes Nitika a class apart. This is what I would say. And I really enjoyed working with her. She never said no to me, and she never felt, or she never made me feel, as a convener, I would like to share. She never made me feel that no, we'll manage it. You are sir, you get lost. We'll do everything. No, like she was. They gave me a lot of sense of importance. This is what I would say. So thank you, Nitika, for that.
So
Really,
the
for me, it
feeling
was
is
also
mutual.
so
The feeling is
for me
mutual.
also, it was very amazing to work with you and your team. So Nitika, I must tell you one thing, that you have made many people's life, uh, uh, unknowingly or for that matter knowingly, whatever you call, you have made many people's life, because I can still see I'm connected to those many people who have got jobs through placement cell. Now they are connected to me on LinkedIn, and when I see their post, maybe from, so I'm so happy that because of Nitika, because of you and your team, a lot of people have been placed into industry and they're doing so well. So Nitika has really made difference into people's life. So Nitika, do you experience a sense of accomplishment after successfully navigating the uh, placement season 21-22, and so do you feel that sense of accomplishment, and so your views on this quickly?
Truly. It was so. I don't even know how to express it, because at the end of the 3 days, I saw everyone being so happy that so many people came in. Uh, the footfall was unexpected, and we weren't expecting. There were so many people, and a lot of my friends also came in. And seeing them, hearing from them after they received an offer letter, after they took up a job, coming from the career fest that we'd organized, it was, I mean, it was out of the world. I felt so much happiness personally knowing someone in my batch. I'm not even my friend, someone in my batch getting a job and doing so well right after graduating. It is truly a sense of accomplishment and happiness that you cannot get it from someone else somewhere else.
Yeah. So Nitika, maybe let me ask you a couple of final questions. Like, how did you, or what change do you see in yourself after leading a very big team of, let's say, 50 plus members, and what are your learnings, and do you see some change in you, and maybe the learning that you have throughout the year, is it going to help you in your real life, maybe for your future studies? So my audience, please pay attention. Like Nitika will be very soon flying abroad. So I'm not going to reveal which country she's going to fly, but she's going abroad and she wants to pursue her dream job. And I wish her the very best. So Nitika, quickly, your learnings, your takeaways from being the president of the placement cell and leading a very big team.
I'm most grateful for the entire experience. Like Sir in the beginning of the interview only mentioned, like working for a placement cell is as good as working a corporate job, because we have a similar system. We work in a coordinated, systematic manner. We had the hierarchy also, made in such a way that we could get the proper experience of being in a company. And I truly agree with that, because I feel like I just have a better experience and better judgment of how to work with people, and you know direct direct everyone to a common goal. I've always enjoyed leading and mentoring, for that matter. So this is something that gave me hands-on experience to something that I can do in the future as a career option, as become a manager, because working with a team and accomplishing something is the best feeling ever. So this just validated my hypothetical career path that this is something I can approach. Definitely, I'm going to approach.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Nitika. Like for me also, it was great to work with you and your team. I really enjoyed it throughout the year. Even there were a lot of lessons for me to learn from you guys as well. And I learned from every person's personality. So particularly from you, your humble nature, down to earth nature, and taking everybody along and not letting down. In fact, I'll share one experience with Nitika. Nitika, perhaps she might recollect. So Nitika and me had a very different style of working. I am very flexible in that. I'm very flexible, and
Yes.
Nitika is very ordered and methodological. So like there was one chaos which happened in the career fest and some people started मेरा नंबर नहीं आ रहा. So I said इन लोग का नंबर आगे कर दे. And Nitika said sir इनका नंबर आगे करेंगे तो बाकी लोग कहाँ पे जाएंगे. So I said Nitika चलना हटाना इसको आगे कर. Then she stuck to it and I said okay Nitika I will follow what you say because like then one day I said Nitika see your style of working and my style of working is different and maybe it is apt also in certain situation one has to be like I said you think from my perspective because all the people who were participating in the career fest they said that they were expecting from you also कि अरुण सर आएंगे तो वो नंबर आगे आ जाएगा. But Nitika stopped me, no sir इनका नंबर आगे मत जाने दीजिए because we have to follow the order and I said okay Nitika but let me calm down otherwise they will just walk away out and so I explained to her that that's the difference in our personality. So Nitika it was
Uh-huh.
great talking to you.
No, but I also so that very experience that you shared with me, the advice that you shared with me is something that I'm going to take along. That it's important to bend the rules sometimes and go with the flow. So
So
it's
thank you
something that
Nitika
I'm
for
going to take
this.
along with me.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Nitika. Really, it was really nice talking to you also. And thank you for your valuable time. So thank you for being so approachable and sparing your valuable time and contributing to this podcast. And I'm sure like the present team that we have, they will definitely have a lot of lessons from this podcast and they will definitely learn a lot. So Nitika, thank you so much. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Uh, my personal blessing to you would be let sky be the limit to you, and you achieve your life to the fullest. This is what I would say. So thank you to all my audience and thank you Nitika once again.
Thank you
Have a
so
nice
much,
day.
sir. Thank you so much. It's
Bye.
always a pleasure to, interact with you. So I would never say no.
Thank you.